It's interesting, Jules, you picked up the Brazilian angle on all of this, and being married to a Brazilian, I'm exposed to a lot of Brazilian people within my life, and it's fascinating to talk to them about Neymar. Everyone is negative about him. Every single person that I meet, it seems, who have got links with Brazil have got something negative to say about him. And this is Rafael, of course, pouring fuel onto that. And I speak, why? What is it with Neymar? Why? Well, you know, he's diving. He's about the money. He's about the party. He's about this or that. But you feel like Ronaldinho, Ronaldo were like that as well. But they seem to get a pass in Brazil compared to Neymar, Jules.
You're right. I find it fascinating, the treatment or the image that he has back home, which can't be easy for him to deal with as well. Maybe because the expectations were so big, so huge from a very young age, when he was 16 at Santos, 17 with the national team, and etc., etc. And hasn't really happened for him in Brazil in the World Cup mostly. Copa America has been a bit different, but in the World Cup, that maybe he's been seen as the one responsible for Brazil not achieving what they should have achieved maybe in World Cups. And then if you point the finger at him, then you look not at the talent, because surely everybody in Brazil knows how talented he is, and that he's one of the best in the world potentially, technically. But maybe pointing the finger as his way of living, those criticism comes from that. If you watch the documentary, the All or Nothing documentary on Brazil, for example, you could see already how different he was, maybe the privileges that he had with the national team, but also with PSG, and maybe some people don't like that, and maybe that's why a lot of the criticism is aimed at him and aimed at what he does as a player and the lack of achievement maybe that he's had with the national team.
But then he doesn't help himself, does he, Frank? With the rolling around, with the shoe on his head, with the celebrations, with some of the words that he comes out with, sometimes you feel that despite the fact he's mature on paper, you know, obviously in his late 20s now, you can still kind of think, well, he still acts too much like a kid.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the prime, I think, for many people. I remember Zinedine Zidane in '96, before the European Championship in England, as at the position of a leader, and didn't filled up the position with his games, and has been a little bit criticized. But we reach another level where we criticize the man, we criticize the way he behaves in and out of the field. I just want to talk about what he does on the field, and there is a way of selfishness when you see him playing, when you see him the way he behaves, and I think it's what it is, and it's what people dislike about Neymar Jr. is that it doesn't go with the rest of the squad. It doesn't fit maybe what Brazilians used to see with their stars, with Ronaldo, with Rivaldo, Pele, that those guys were loved by their teammates. It's not the case with Neymar. The talent is there, for sure, for everybody, it's obvious. But the mentality is not. It's more, again, a selfish guy playing fantastically well sometimes, but not giving enough in terms of communication on and out the field to please even the Brazilians.
Last word on this to you, Jules.
I just think it can't be easy. Whether you like him or not, I don't think it can be easy to be Neymar. And again, having that kind of reputation and all those expectations since a very young age, and maybe not being ready for it, and having that weight on your shoulders all those years, with obviously the top of it being the 2014 World Cup on home soil, where you get that injury against Colombia, and after that everything is a nightmare that you wish had been the biggest dream of your life. And I just don't think it can be easy right now. And as you mentioned earlier, as you know so well, Brazilians, I think, are quite hard to please and quite hard to convince. And I think Neymar could have been very different had he had more success with the national team earlier, maybe. And now he has to dig in again and try to do between now and the end of his career to please all the Brazilians who've had so much expectations for him and he has never fulfilled.
Brazilians are indeed hard to please. I can attest to that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You can listen to that full interview, by the way, with Rafael over on a special podcast we've put together. Him chatting to Alexis Nunes about lots of things, not only the Brazilian team, but Manchester United as well. You can listen to that podcast over on the website.
Thanks Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.